Hawaii and the tan is still going. I've still got a tan, so that's kind of cool. I have missed you guys. I hope you are ready for a video today. Let me go ahead and just check off to the left here. I'm trying to remember the order of go, how you do it. You start, you make sure you're going live. So hang on just one second. Let me double check here. All right? Because otherwise, what is the point? It's like the tree in the forest. If a person publishes a video and nobody is watching, did she really publish it? We don't really know. All right. Hey, Rosie, appreciate that. Let me see what we got going here. I've got an error on my screen. Yeah, let's see what that's about. So, okay, am I still, Rosie, give me another thumbs up or a yeah, you're still alive, because I'm getting a error message on my screen. Just let me know that you're actually seeing what I'm doing here. Okay, cool, awesome. Hey, Faith. Hi, Celtic Princess. Susan, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Okay, so I saw this card on Split Coast Stampers. It was tutorial one of the last weeks or so, and I thought it was really, really cute, and so I did it. Hey, Sylvia. Hi, Brenda. Thank you. All right, good. Hey, Bree. Hi, Judy. All right, so this is the card. There's nothing on the inside. What? But what's fun is it's got a little pocket right here. And I put a back on it so that there would be a place to write a little thank you so much, with love, whatever. But what's kind of cool is if you play your cards right and you don't get too carried away with your adhesive, it's also a pretty good gift card holder, like so. And I made it using the Plentiful Plants bundle and, oddly enough, the Hippo and Friends die set, as well as some Bloom Where You're Planted DSP. So let's go ahead and get started. And it's really freaking me out that I cannot see what's going on my screen. So I'm just going to have to take it for granted that everything is working. Now, all of this will be on my blog tomorrow, so you don't even need to worry over much about taking any notes about, sizes and things like that. Now, we are going to start. This is a cinnamon cider. And what I'm going to do first, it's just a regular size half sheet of cardstock. So 5.5 by 8.5. And first I'm going to score it at 4 1/4, kind of normal. And then I'm going to make a little mark with the pencil. I'm going to make a little mark here at 2 3/4. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my straight edge on, just so that I actually mark at 2 3/4 on the other side, like so. Then rotate and mark at 2 3/4 on the short side. Okay, done and done. Easy. Also peasy. It's also peasy. Alrighty. Oh, good. I'm glad you've got it on the way, Kathy. That's excellent. Now, I'm going to take my trimmer and make every possible effort to not use the cutting blade right now, because that will change everything and make me have to cut more cardstock. So I'm going to hide that out of the way. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but I can just barely with my incredible eyeballs. So I'll make it a little bit bigger just so it's a little easier for me to see and for you to see. But what I have is I have my pencil marks on the short edge and then on each of the longer sides. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that little mark right in my cutting channel and then rotate the cardstock so that both marks are in the cutting channel. Except this time it's going to be a scoring channel, like so. And then I'll just rotate it and do the same thing again. I should do it the way that's the easiest. Instead of making it as hard as possible, I should make it as easy as possible. All right, so this little mark is right in this channel, and then the mark down here is also lined up in the channel. Again, make sure you're using the light blade so that you are scoring and not cutting. And we'll give that a good score like so. And it should look roughly the same. It doesn't actually look roughly the same right now, but I think it might be. It's just my brain. We're going to see in about 31.2 nanoseconds. In theory, when I fold these together, oh, it was good. It was just my Mark 1 eyeball was uncalibrated. When you make that fold, these straight edges should come together, and you've created a little triangular pocket like so. Now, you and I both know that we all do this. You save little bits of washi tape here and there that isn't necessarily still around, but you've got it because it's washi tape, and we love our washi tape. So just take a little tiny piece of it and use it right here to hold that together. And then we're going to fold again, and now we have officially created the pocket fold. All right, so you got a little corner pocket fold. Okay, so now we need a few more pieces of cardstock and a little bit of DISPA. That's code for DSP. I have a 3.5 by 3.5 inch square piece of the Bloom Where You Planted DSP and a 3 3/4 square inch piece of Just Jade. And I'll pull my trimmer back out, okay? And with both of these pieces, I'm going to put the corners right dab in the cutting blade trough, the little trough there. And this time I do want the darker blade because I do want to cut. I'm going to cut that one in half, and I'm going to do the same with the DSP. And you're going to use all of this, so don't get jiggy and start discarding stuff. Okay, like so. So I now have 2 triangles. Now with one of the triangles, I'm going to put the straight edge against the top and the point right in the cutting edge and cut that in half like so. And I will do the same with one of the cardstock triangles. You will see the method to my madness in about, a couple of minutes. Okay, let's put this away and doneske. Now we can just do a little adhering with some liquid glue. Easy peasy. I do love this paper. It's so pretty. It looks really, really organic, and I think this is a great thank you card that I have put together. Oh, because I'm just so stinking clever. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I am still jet lagged. There is no doubt about it. My brain is awake at 9 o'clock at night, which is not me, and it's sound asleep at 10 in the morning, which is also not really me. So eventually I will get over it. I'm certain of it. Hey, Debbie. Hi, Amy. Hey, Linda from Arizona. Appreciate you joining. All right, so we're just matting all of these little pieces on their corresponding cardstocks that we made, like a so. This is really high-tech stuff right here. Really complicated. Higher level crafting at your service. Now, before I forget, if you are one of my customers or my host club folks, and you have the Zoom link for my Zoom craft rooms, I will be back on starting tonight. So 7 o'clock tonight for the Thursday Zoom the craft room. Okay, now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to adhere this larger triangle, and I am going to put the top of the cardstock against the top of the pocket, okay? And then I'm going to eyeball the distance on the edges. Did that make sense? So let's see if I can, there. Can you tell the top of the cardstock is right up flush against the top of the pocket that I created? And we're gonna just use some liquid glue. It's weird, huh? Liquid glue is the adhesive of choice for me. I like it because it lets me wiggle it a little bit. And it's very close tolerances. We're talking space shuttle tolerances on this right here. Not really, I'm kidding. That's what my husband uses, is space shuttle tolerance when he's, building gates, building fence, things like that. Things that really need more of a little bit of slackosity. Hey, Kathy, appreciate you joining. And thank you, Karen. You're a very good promoter. Okay, now these little pieces are going to go right here, like so, just to cover that little gap. You know me, I'm not a big fan of blank space. Maybe you've noticed. Kathy, you'll soon notice that I am not a fan of blank space, which is why clean and simple cards are not really my forte. Okay, and I'm just kind of wagging that line up there. All right, we got one more, and then we can start decorating, which is always the fun part. I like to say this is you're making your cake here. This is baking the cake, and then when we start putting on the embellishments, that's putting on our frosting. Yeah, I just made that up. No, I totally didn't. Okay, and so there we go. Basic card done. Now, here's something so cool about the Bloom Where You Are Planted DSP and this bundle in general. You will discover when you look at the DSP that the dies in the Perfect Plant set match the images in the DSP. I know, it's crazy. And then this one matches right here. And then you've got some pots that also match one of the other sets. So what I did is I cut 2 of these 3-leaf plants and 2 of these 5-leaf plants before you got here, and 1 of these little doohickeys that must be a cactus of some sort, right? Okay, so I've got those all cut out, and we're going to use those to decorate along with some of the incredibly gorgeous Expressions in Ink ephemera pack die cuts. And we're going to use several of those. And what I'm going to do is just adhere them to the front of the pocket. Now, here's where you have to decide the use of your card, okay? If this is going to be a straight up greeting card and you don't want to put a gift card in and make it a gift card holder, you can get as carried away with your adhesive as you want, because it doesn't matter if your pocket ends up glued down, okay? But if you're gonna do like I am, which is make a gift card, you need to take a little beat and, you know, go a little slower, just saying. Okay, so let me find my little die cuts that I just had, and now I don't know where I've put them. Just a minute, I'll find them. Just a second, they're right here. Don't worry, Mary, they're right here somewhere. Okay, here we go. I found them. All right. So as I mentioned, I cut some of the DSP leaves out like that. And then I also stamped this image right here. I stamped it once in Evening Everglade, Evening Evergreen. I was completely wrong. I'm still using the jet lag, okay? So I get another couple of days of pass on the jet lag. All right. Hey, Judy, thank you. So 2 of these in Just Jade and 1 in Evening Evergreen. Okay, there, I said it. And I cut them out. Now here's a little tip that I wanted to share. This is one of the DSPs in the set. And when I stamped these, instead of stamping them on Whisper White, I stamped it on this DSP. What that did is it toned down the background. Okay, so instead of it being a stark Whisper White behind my die cuts, it was a little closer to matching the background on the DSP die cuts. Can you see that? Did that make sense? Well, if it didn't, just do it without understanding why. But I think you do. Okay. Okay, I have one more piece. I'm sorry. I took some of this brick DSP from Bloom Where You're Planted, and I also put it on Cinnamon Cider. Or on Just Jade. Have I mentioned that I'm not a big fan of blank cardstock? Yeah, it's true. So I'm gonna do matted pieces of DSP almost anywhere I can do it. Appreciate you, Judy. I'm glad to be back. It felt out of the swing. I kept trying to, I do tend to kind of orient myself during the week by videos. And I just wasn't doing a very good job in Maui because I didn't know what day it was, which really didn't matter. I'm just saying, when you're in Hawaii, it doesn't really matter what day it is. Just going out there on a limb and saying that straight up. Okay, before we get our sentiment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lay out my plants that I have made. This looks to me a little bit like a 70s planter. You remember houses where you'd walk in, there'd be like a little half wall right next to the door that became your foyer, and it had plants in it. It was like a planter. So that's kind of what this reminds me of. Mary, the 70s called. They want their half wall planter back. Okay. And then we're going to use a couple of these pretty leaves. Pretty, pretty leaves. I should put this liquid glue lid on. We'll use a couple of 3 or 4 of these. Right here, a couple of 2s, a couple of 3s, a couple of 2s with some berries. There you go, Faith. I'm just always teaching something, right? I'm so silly that way. All right. Now, where's my Twizzlers? Okay, so these guys are going to go, let's see, we'll put one in here. Now, here's another little tip for you. As it's made, this card will fit in a medium envelope. But when you're putting all your decorations on, you really kind of want to be careful because it's easy to get carried away and let everything spill off of the edges. And as soon as you do that, you're going to need a different size envelope. So you want to stay inside of the confines of your cardstock, of your card base, okay? I mean, you know, if you want to find a different envelope, that's you. That's all on you, and you can sure do it. But I like it to be in a regular old envelope. Okay? Get on there. Apparently I have sticky fingers right now. All right, we'll have that right there like so. And then this little dude can go here. And I think we'll do like that. Okay, and I'm going to need one more of these in a minute. And then I've got that. Okay, so that's how that's going to look. And then I'm going to pile these. They're going to look like they're spilling over like that. And then I think I'll stick this little guy in because he's cute. Just a little bit random there. Okay, so let's take these off. Here's another tip for those of you who are new. At this point, I would take a picture of this, all right, so that I can remember what my perfect design looks like. As it is, I'm kind of going to just remember it, and also I'm using my sample to help me remember where to put what. I should probably get rid of that. Okay, now, when you do this, you're going to want to glue on the top of your die cut. Does that make sense? And you're going to go from the top down. Normally, you would start with the bottom and then you would layer up, right? But since we're adhering from the top, you're going to want to start at the top. Did any of what I just say make sense? It didn't sound right as it was coming out of my mouth. Thanks, Kim. Thank you, Debbie. I'm glad you, I hope you'll get this bundle now. Okay, so I've just put a little bit of liquid glue right on the top of the die. Again, remember, if you're not using this as a card holder, you don't have to be quite so concerned about where your adhesive goes. But I want to be able to stick a gift card in here, so I'm trying to be a little careful, which means I'm just putting a little bit of glue and I'm pushing down, but trying not to push down enough to squish the glue out the edges, right? So that it goes onto the back of the card base. So if you're worried at all, just drop kick the idea of making it a gift card holder and make it a card and go from there. Okay, again, be careful that you don't extend past the top of the card, or you're going to have some issues when it comes time to putting it in an envelope. Just throwing that out there. And this is definitely a time where using your tweezers will make you much happier. Okay, so just give that a little push, and then I usually pick it up, kind of try to pick it up a little bit just to be sure it's not getting where it doesn't want to be. Look at that. I have a hanging chad right there. No, I don't. That's a leaf. Silly me. Okay, so let's go again, and we'll go from the top down on the other side. For those of you who are sitting there going, my gosh, this is a really, really hard card. No, it isn't. It's not. I promise. The hardest part of it is just making sure that you don't, squish up your card pocket and make it so that you can't put a gift card in there. So that's what we're doing here. That's why I'm taking the time I'm taking. Otherwise, this is pretty basic. And you know as well as I do that that was a pretty easy pocket card, right? I mean, that was not hard at all. Not at all. The hardest part of that, making sure you use the right blade when you're scoring. Once you get past that little doodah, you're good to go. Okay, so there goes my last leaf on the inside of the pocket. I've got everything kind of pushed down, making sure it's not closing up my pocket. And now I'm going to set that aside for a second to dry, and I'm going to make a sentiment. So I'm going to use a piece of the DSP. This has got the light wood design. And in cinnamon cider ink, maybe tuck a piece of, yes, a piece of wax paper in there would be a great idea. That's awesome, awesome tip. Thank you. I've got a little note with the biggest thanks. This is one of the sentiments from Plentiful Plants. And I am stamping it on the DSP in cinnamon cider. And it's really kind of handy because you can use the lines in the wood to line up your sentiment. And we'll set this aside. And then here comes Hippo Happiness, or Hippo and Friends. Sorry, if y'all don't have the Hippo bundle, just if you don't even like the Hippo stamp set, which is fine, of course, that's totally up to you. If you don't love it, just get the Hippo and Friends dies, if for no other reason than these awesome label dies. I mean, they're amazing. So I'm going to use this middle one right here. It's double stitched, which I love because it adds a little bit of oomph to your die cut without adding any layers. So let me go ahead and cut this out right quick. Right, quick like a bunya. I want it to be quick, and yet I also want it to be straight. So give me a second. I gotta fold my mouse just right. And we're gonna run this through. All right. I do love these labels. And there we go. See how pretty with the stitching on it? I love it. You gotta love it. You got to love it. Now, what I'm going to do here is this is going to end up layered on my card front, and I'm going to layer it like this. So I want it to look like my, I need one more little piece. See this little small piece from the ephemera pack, Expressions in Ink ephemera pack. Here we go. I'm going to put this down. It's going to be part of my design. You know me, no collage. I've never met a collage I didn't love. Just saying. Okay, now I'm gonna do some layering here because I really want this to look like it is cascading over my notes, over my sentiment. So you see what I did there? I just layered it on like that, and I'm actually gonna glue it just like that to the back of my sentiment. Okay? Silicone mat would be absolutely perfect too. That's exactly right. And you don't have to go to the kitchen. Correct. All of these are very good ideas. I prefer to make it as hard as possible, so that would be why I didn't suggest it in the first place. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm kidding. There we go. So I've got that on there now. And then we'll have this. And we'll have another one like so, probably behind it. And then we're going to put in a couple of little, you know, these doohickeys like that. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and put these on. Now, this one's a little persnickety with the glue, but you can do it. I know you can. I know you can. This would be another place where you might want to put it on a silicone mat. You might want to use a sponge. I prefer to just kind of lightly put it on. Remember, you don't need a lot, right? You really don't need a lot of liquid glue. That's all you got to do with that. Done, and also done. All right, then we'll put a little bit of liquid glue on here. Put it on the card front like so. And then we're going to put another leaf, another leaf. I'm in California. Hey, Wanda, appreciate you joining while in California. Are you out on vacation or business? She asked nosily. There we go. And then we'll put this down here. On the other side, Okay. And now, while I might normally, with another card, I might have used dimensionals here, I'm not going to do that because I got plenty of dimension right now. Okay. There we go. And then we'll add the last piece right on top, like so. Okay, now the last little decoration here for my card front is some of the very cute, oh cool, Wanda, I'm glad you're having a good time then. Hi, Patricia. I'm going to use some of the stick-on sequins from the ephemera pack, and I'm just going to put them kind of here and there to add just a little bit of sparkle and shine. Just a little bit of sparkle and shine, that's all we need. I have always been a fan of a little bit of sparkle and shine. I like it. Put a couple over here. Maybe one more right there. And I think just to balance everything out, we'll put one right there. And I think I'll also put one right here. And I think I might put one right here too. Okay, I think that's enough. I'll just stop right there. Okay, so there's your card front. And let me find my template thingy. Well, I don't know. It'll show up. I was looking for my little gift card, but I'm certain. Oh, wait, it's in my other card. There we go. Just a double check to be sure that we can still put our gift card in. And yes, indeed. So gift card still fits. Perfect. Yay. Okay, so let's make the back now. And that is just some easy stamping. I've got a piece of Whisper White. Nope. Nope. You see? You can train a new dog, old tricks and all of that other stuff, but you know, whatever. It's basic white now, Mary. Hello. And I'm going to stamp a thank you in cinnamon cider right in the middle, as lined up as I can do. Okay. Now, there's also a stamp that says so very much. And what I'm going to do is in Evening Evergreen, watch what I'm doing. Can you, maybe you can't see it, but I can, is because it's photopolymer. All I'm doing is I'm inking up so very, just like that. And I'm going to line it up underneath the sentiment, like so. Then you want to clean the stamp off really good. I highly recommend you stamp a few times. You'd be amazed at how much is left even after you've cleaned your stamp. And then just ink up the word much, like so. And then I'm pulling it to me, sorry, just because I need to line it up. Just like that. Okay, so very much. It's not quite lined up, but that's okay too. Which stamp set? This is the Plentiful Plants bundle from the new catalog. Kind of fun, photopolymer. You can make all sorts of organic looking images. Now I'm going to take my Just Jade that's disappeared. No, it hasn't. Right here. And I'm going to ink this Cascade image again in Just Jade, and I'm going to stamp it off once and stamp it over the sentiment like this. I did do a test with it not stamped off once, and it's too dark. Okay, so don't do it. Just trust me on this. You're not going to want to do it. Okay, and we'll set that aside for just a second. And I'm going to use a little liquid glue. Hey, Iris from Germany. Appreciate you joining, and I'm glad you like it. Thank you. We'll use a little liquid glue and adhere to a Just Jade matte, like so, and adhere it to the back of the card. Don't have to do this at all, but I like to have a little spot to do a little message to people. Yeah? Okay. Now, could you do it on the inside? Absolutely, you could. But in Mary's world, jet lagged or not jet lagged, this is like math to figure that out. Because, of course, you could use just a piece of white and then you could kind of figure it out. But I would want to mat it because that's how I roll, and, you know, it would be a thing. So just leave that. What's fun about this card is that when it's delivered, you can, I don't know if you can see this, you can stand it up just like that. It'll actually rest on the point, and it becomes a display card. Did you see that? Were you able to see that? There, like that. Okay. Watching you from the only inhabited island in Louisiana, Grand Isle. I live on an island, but us islanders never go to the beach. I know. I'm pretty sure that if I lived in Hawaii, I would probably never go to the beach, but I would certainly like to listen to it every day and see it every day. I'm just saying. I really, really like the beach a lot. Okay, so there is our card. I am going to put, I did forget, I kind of forgot. I can't believe I forgot to put a linen thread, my bow on there. Good Lord. What in the world are you coming to, Mare? Yes, so I was going to put another little rib bow on here. So let me do that right quick like a bunny. And this is kind of a basic bow. It's a double length of linen thread, just tied into a simple bow. You could get jiggy and do a double loop bow, but I kind of think it's overkill. I don't think you need that. Okay, so we'll just double it across, do a quick simple bow like so. A so like bow, a bow like so. And obviously you don't have to use quite as long a length as I do, but when I do bows in public, I need a little extra to give myself a little fighting chance of getting the bow right the first time. Otherwise, I have to do it 3 times and people are like, really? Really? She's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator? And I'm like, yeah. Which should tell you, if I can do this, anybody can do this. All right, so we'll just put that on with a glue dot and give these a little trim. I love a little bit of the organic of the linen thread with the little bit of sparkle from the sequins and the shine from the gold. I like how that all kind of comes together like that. Okay, so real quick, we'll do our doohickey, which is another word for envelope. And I'm going to do that. I had a little mistake on that one, so I'm not going to do it as part of the demo. I'll use it later and cover it with a stamp, with a stamp. Now I'm going to take this same foliage falling thing, ink it in Just Jade, and then I'm going to stamp it 1, 2, 3 times, just like that, without re-inking. And you get a nice, you get like 3 colors for the price of 1. And then I'm going to put some of the brick on the back, and it will be done ske. Iris, I appreciate you being on. That's awesome. What time is it in Germany? It might be really late, huh? I'm not real sure. I'm not real sure, but I'm betting it's kind of late. Okay, here we go. Yes, I love the sound. We when we were in Maui at the resort, the Grand Wailea, it was beautiful, y'all. And we were on the ocean side with our room, and so every night we would sleep with the sliding doors. We had a lanai, and there was big sliding doors, and we'd slide them all the way open. And so I thought I was listening to the waves, which I sort of was, but I was also listening to the resort rushing stream that was down below us. But the combination, my brain told me it was waves, because when I looked out the window, I saw the ocean. So I decided it was waves, and I loved it. I could listen to that every single night, always. 70s macrame plant, exactly. And so what's kind of fun is look at this die in the set. This is in the Perfect Plant set. Cut that out of crumb cake or cinnamon cider, and it looks just like a macrame plant hanger. Okay, sorry, little aside there. Bunny. All right, we're just gonna do a quick little fussy cut here. Y'all, just so you know, even though the recruiting special has ended, the starter kit is still a great deal, but we've also got the awesome ordering special. So if you do an individual order, or you and some friends get together and order together and hit $250 with your retail, then you get an extra $25 in Stampin' Rewards, which, if you do the math, ends up to $50 in Stampin' Rewards, which is $50 of free money. Just saying. All right, so there we go. Quick little fun corner pocket card. that if you do play your cards right and you want it to, is an awesome gift card holder. And once your recipient is through oohing and awing over it, they can stand it up on their dresser like so and admire your gorgeous creation forever. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you will get the Plentiful Plants bundle and add it to your list, and definitely get the Hippo and Friends dies so that you have all of these wonderful labels. So for those of you who are on Zoom with me, I will see you tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Otherwise, I hope to see you on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for my Facebook Live tutorial. Don't know what we're going to do, but I'm hoping we'll have fun. Thank you so much, y'all. We'll see ya. Bye.